Hey guys, welcome in. It's time for Bollocks this evening. Easy for me to say. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we are in, of course, the
Bozard Ford Studio. Whoa. Batting ninth. Oh, carry on.
You guys crushed that one. I'm gonna give you a C from yesterday and an A from today.
Well,
your level of improvement in one day is amazing.
Look at us.
Is amazing. So, all right, I got to finish this text real quick. Boom.
In that case,
yeah.
Let me tell you about the.
Oh,
good
you want
people.
to do the
Let me tell you about the good people at Bozard Ford. Well,
Thank
you're busy
you.
over there, sir. For over 75 years, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been a trusted name in St. Augustine, built on family values, honesty, and doing things the right way. With over 1,200 vehicles to choose from, no surprise pricing, and the Drive Happy guarantee, Bozard makes car buying simple and stress-free. That's the Bozard difference. Their state-of-the-art facility features 91 climate-controlled service bays, a quick lane for no appointment maintenance, and over 40 service vans that will come to you. And Ford's Garage Restaurant is right there if you're a little peckish while you're waiting to pick up your car.
Peckish.
Peckish, that's your little peckish.
Yes.
Just off I-95 and State Road 16, Bozard Ford Lincoln. They are driven to inspire.
All right. And I'm going to tell you about the wonderful people at A.D. Davis. When quality and experience matter, trust A.D. Davis Construction. With over 72 years of combined experience, A.D. Davis specializes in high-end residential homes, commercial construction, renovation, and historic restorations throughout Northeast Florida. Their team is built on integrity, craftsmanship, and relationships. So much so that more than 85% of their work comes from repeat clients. From concept to completion, A.D. Davis delivers results you can trust. A.D. Davis Construction, where your vision meets their legacy of excellence.
If you've had your burger at Ford's Garage, it's time for dinner, and there's no place better in St. Augustine than Meehan's Irish Pub. You can eat, drink, and be Irish at Meehan's Irish Pub right on the waterfront in downtown historic St. Augustine. A favorite for locals and visitors alike, Meehan serves up traditional Irish classics like corned beef and cabbage, fish and chips, and shepherd's pie, alongside fresh local seafood and a full raw bar. Enjoy a pint in the cozy pub, dine upstairs at Johnny's Oyster Bar with views of the Matanzas River, or relax in the backyard where they do have fire pits with tropical vibes. The pints are cold, the welcome is always warm, the staff is outstanding, only at Meehan's.
That's it. We have some other amazing sponsors we got to let you know about. We have St. Augustine Distillery along with Citygate Spirits. We have A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing, Anastasia Diner, Moultrie Creek Diner, Brightway Insurance, St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, St. Anastasia Construction Group, Synergy Power Solutions, Abear Kresge and Associates, Powell Heating and Air, and I use every single one of these guys throughout my daily life, and you guys should too. They're amazing, and you're not going to get a better list of sponsors than what we have here on Bollocks in the 904 now. So, Lenny, how the heck are you?
I am just Skippy, my friend. Just Skippy.
Skippy. Here, I'm going to give you those because I don't even know where those go.
Okay.
So
we have a paperclip? I just gave you the... Oh, you do.
Here, I got this paper clip. I got that paper clip.
Good. I know where they live. I will put them away later.
And we got some really good lists of things to talk about today. And some you might enjoy, some you won't enjoy.
Right.
On the morning show, we were called liberal, and I was like, "Oh, you haven't met."
I wasn't there.
You haven't met my friend Lenny.
Really?
So,
silly people.
I am so conservative when Lenny's in the room.
Sorry, Amanda.
So in the ranking of conservative to liberal, I think it's Amanda's the most conservative.
Yes.
And then me.
Yes. And
then Blake, and then you.
I would say that's a fair lineup.
You know, so I think that's the way our list runs for the four main people on the show. Mm-hmm. And if we throw Mike Davis in there, I think him and Amanda are battling for that top spot.
1 and 1A, they'd be an entry, like a horse race.
And Amanda would like to say she's further right, but Mike's been at it for decades.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was right there with what was the Family Ties? Michael
Keaton. I can see him.
Michael J. Fox, but it was
right. But it was Michael Keaton, right?
Keaton was his name, was the character's name. So, but I think Mike was
Alex P. Keaton.
Alex P. Keaton. That's it. It was Michael J. Fox. Alex, and didn't he have a picture of Reagan up?
Probably
in his room. So, all right. So here's our categories that we're going to chat amongst ourselves about.
Okay. We
Okay.
can let the other people listen, though, can't we? And they can chime in on the
Oh yeah,
couch.
they can chat with
All
us.
right, fine, good.
It's a chat along show.
Right, exactly.
So it's a chat along show. You can laugh and learn and learn and laugh, whichever order you want to do it in. And by the way, I just want to know what happened at trivia last night. You guys were holding on.
Yeah.
And then
well, we were smart enough not to bet on the last question because we got none of
it
them.
still gave you a
correct.
chance.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you still finished just out.
Right.
So,
Those painful words on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Finishing just outside the money.
yeah.
We hear that too frequently. Well, you know what it was? I am deferential to my wife more than I need to be or should be. Hi, honey. I hope you're watching. Because there was no way that Wild Bill Donovan was hiring somebody for the OSS that wasn't an American. So the question was, where was Julia Child born? And I listened to the entire Stoidum stat that was wonderfully put on by Blake yesterday morning. And I kind of spaced out when he said she was born in Pasadena, California, and I forgot all about that. So when it came up to it, my wife.
So you woke up early
every Wednesday.
and it was with no results. I'm sorry about that.
Well,
I'm sorry that you lost sleep.
I got that one question over. Well, I think I kind of might have nodded for the beginning of the Stoidum stat
yeah.
because that's where I missed the Pasadena part. But Julie said England, and I said she was born in the United States, and marital harmony trumps trivia. Sorry.
Oh, that's the way to do it.
Sorry. Yeah.
So you still won.
That's how. By the way, that's how we also screwed up the Venus and the number of moons in Venus. I'm going, I don't think they have any.
Yep.
And once again, I was deferential again.
Yep.
I love you, my love.
But that's the way to do it.
Yep.
That's the way to. That's 100%. I'm on your side on that one. So you still came away with the victory.
Right. Trivia will come
better,
and go.
It's better to miss the question and have happiness at home
Correct.
than to get it right and go home to an argument.
Correct.
It's just, and I might put that in my speech at the beginning of the rules.
Very good.
So,
Yes. I mean, trivia will come and go. I'm keeping my wife, so that's all there is to it.
I mean, because I already asked if you were dropped as a baby in our conversation earlier, and you said it was the forceps that squeezed a little too tight.
That's what I think it was.
Yep. So,
We have no proof of that, but it's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
yep. So, all right. Here's our topics that we have: minimum wages by state, government deception.
I'm intrigued by that one.
All right.
I'm not doubting it, but I'm intrigued by that one.
Grocery prices by city.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have minimum wages by state, government deception. You got to say it like that, or you got to sell it.
Right.
All
Absolutely.
right. Or groceries by city. Blake, those are your three choices you have in front of you. Which one do you want to go with first?
Which one are you more prepared for right now, Dad?
I'm prepared for. We are so prepared for this show. The fact that you asked that question acts like I don't prepare.
And
Which
if we don't
may
know,
or may not be true.
right, and if we don't know the answer, we'll just make shit up anyway.
Oh, I can sell it. I can sell
So,
ice to an Eskimo.
Gotta,
all right.
gotta just do it with confidence, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you
So-
ready? I think you're going with government deception. Because
Let's do minimum wage.
Oh, minimum wage.
Ooh, a little
All right.
curveball from the producer.
Throwing it to you, sir.
All righty. Well, at the beginning of the year, a number of states changed their minimum wage. A couple of states are doing it through the course of this year. For example, Florida minimum wage will change on July 1st. It will go to, I think, $15. Can't even read my own handwriting because I know it's around here somewhere. Florida will be $15 on September 30th. Will happen there. But a majority of the states still are with the federal minimum wage, which is a deplorable $7.25. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And that will bear into the grocery prices later if we get to them. Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch of
Was that not
states.
for servers or? That was
No,
for,
I mean,
that was
there's a
for-
couple of states. Yeah, I mean, it's if you're a tipped employee, and I don't know if they're going to change that now that they're taking no taxes on tips,
Yeah.
because that will increase that wage in essence, in reality.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to make a corresponding move with that. Because some tipped employees are allowed to be paid less because they presume that the tips are making up for some of the difference in paying those hourly workers less money in a restaurant.
Well, normally
in a
that
coffee
should
shop.
be true
Yeah.
in most cases. I mean, there's bartenders that, they'll walk with $500-600 a night.
A night, absolutely. Right.
and their night of light's even higher.
Yeah.
So, so that's why. A lot of these guys make their money. That's why night of lights is so important. They make their money during that time. So.
But it was interesting too because I would pay my servers by check, and to run a restaurant honestly, you've got to take taxes out and you've got to estimate what your employees are getting in tips. And years and years ago, the IRS said, look, we know that the tipping rate is actually 15%. That's when it was, normally 15%. That was also before everybody who sold you a piece of bubble gum in a corner convenience store didn't have a tip jar out.
Yeah.
But it was
or it wasn't on the little scan thing.
right.
I can't stand that when you tap it and then they go, your choices start at like 20%.
Right.
Okay, all you did was hand me this.
Right. Yeah, that's just, and there's no shame, and there was a big rebound.
And that's a guilt tip.
But you know
Not
what?
a guilt trip, a guilt tip.
Right. And it started to rebound because people got so fed up with being asked to tip for everything. You buy a newspaper, where's my tip? You bought a dozen donuts, where's my tip? It's a service economy, I understand that, but the service is you doing your job that you're getting paid for as a cashier. You're not really offering me a service, you're doing your job.
I exchanged this money for this.
Correct.
You don't deserve a tip for that. You come in, you fill my tea, you take my order, you get the appetizer. You deserve a tip then.
Absolutely.
You deserve a tip then.
Absolutely.
And that's, like I said, I call them guilt tips.
Right. It was interesting in the fact that the law at the time was written as employees needed to declare 8% of their gross earnings as tips. And the IRS started in Maine and started walking down the eastern seaboard and would go into restaurants and say, here, how's it going? Are you declaring tips for your employees? Yes, at 8%. Well, tell you what, everybody knows that, and at the time the colloquial tipping amount was 15%. So you can either declare 15% for your staff or we'll audit you. And you can give your employees the option to fish or cut bait. Because the employees also had the option to be able to do that themselves.
Yeah.
So what happened was we would take their net sales or their gross sales and take 10% of that and put it on the bill because we just had to move it up to 10%. They didn't even want 15% at the time. It was just get from 8 to 10%, and it was fine, which was easier math, by the way, as well. And we would do that. And then they would get their tips because if we were declaring them, they would get their tips in the form of a paycheck, which would be very interesting because they would keep their cash tips. They would get, and a lot of times these folks would be getting a check for minus $3, because the checks basically covered their taxes.
Yeah.
Their workers' comp, their FICA, and their
that's got to be
Security.
Heartbreaking.
Well, yeah, except for the fact that they had $200 in cash.
Yeah,
in
they
their
walked
pocket.
with that,
Right,
but it's still,
exactly.
in a mindset way.
Yeah.
It's got to be a little heartbreaking.
So,
I've never worked in a job where I worked for tips. I just never have.
Yeah.
So, every once in a while, people will tip us at trivia, but it's few and far between.
Well, Jameson and Ginger.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Tried declaring that on your taxes.
Yeah, you can't really claim
Mr.
that.
Abear Kresge and Associates.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure he knows a way.
Yes, I hope so for your sake. So the Fed rate hasn't been changed. The $7.25. It's the federal minimum wage. You know when the last time that was changed?
It's been a bit. Probably been 15, 20 years.
2009.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're right on.
17 years. Yeah.
Yep. So and that's just ridiculous.
But is anybody actually paying that? I mean,
I would think
don't know. I don't know how that's
in Mississippi.
possible.
Probably. In Alabama, probably. And there's an interesting.
I'm going to make you feel better about the minimum wage here. We were in Ecuador.
Yeah,
they have a minimum wage. It's $4.80 for the month. All right.
Okay.
If you're working, it's $4.80 for the month. Their unemployment rate, 42%.
Wow.
So those 42%.
What's their cost of living?
42%. That's dirt cheap. Okay. All right. So I mean, but like a 1-bedroom apartment, everything paid for is like $400 to $500.
If you're making $480 a month,
that's a problem.
Right. That's not working out so well.
The math's not mathing.
Right.
All right. And that's the reason they love Americans because we tip and they use U.S. dollar, so it makes it easy for us to get it. Right. But that 480 is like, oh, okay, that's a low number, and then they say 42%. So that means the people that are considered unemployed are making less than that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it's hard, but it's interesting because it seems that the only traditionally blue state, which is not because it's a swing state, but the only blue state that is working with the $7.25 minimum wage is actually Pennsylvania.
Okay.
New Hampshire's as well, but New Hampshire's pick a day of the week. Sometimes they're red, sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're striped. So it doesn't matter. And then all the rest of the states that are using the federal minimum wage are red states. The majority of them are in the South. But then you have a couple like North Dakota, North Carolina. New Hampshire surprised me. Oklahoma. Pennsylvania was the one that I found surprising. So, and it's just interesting. A couple of them are pretty high up there. Washington State is $17.13.
Yeah, that seems too high for a small business person.
Well,
that almost would encourage getting paid off the books and almost make you cheat to survive.
Sometimes, but it depends on what the cost of living is, and if you pay for it. Hawaii, it went from $14 to $16. There's 6 states that are over $15. Arizona, Colorado, Maine, Missouri, and Nebraska.
Okay.
Nebraska? I guess so.
Florida's at what, 12?
Florida, no, Florida's not horrible yet. Florida is going to, $15?
Yeah, we're eventually going to get to $15.
Yeah, that'll be in September.
Yeah.
That'll be in September.
That's when, okay,
right.
So we're at 14 right now?
Correct.
Okay.
And in September, we'll be at $15.
All right.
But we can just segue, right in. California, and some states have varying degrees of it. Whereas California, it's $16.90. But in some states, like Vermont, it's kind of weird because if you're an agricultural worker, it's in New Jersey. If you employ, and this is what you employ 6 or more people, your minimum wage is going to be $15.92. If you employ less than 6 people or it's seasonal work, it's $15.23. If you're an agricultural worker in New Jersey, it's $14.20. And the good thing is, if you work in a long-term care facility taking care of people, it's $18.92, which was basically the highest wage I saw in any of the states. Ohio, it's $11, though small firms may apply to get an income adjustment, and then they would pay the federal rate.
Yeah. And but I mean, the problem is like I said, something like a Washington, and even I know it's happening here since the minimum wages went up. They're paying people kind of off the books and not being straight up with it. So it's kind of a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation. Because you've been a businessman. And,
absolutely.
I don't want to go into statutes of limitations, but you haven't owned a restaurant in 10 years, right?
More than that, almost.
Or not? Okay, so I think we're good. When you first started, to get quality people, you probably had to do some of those little tricks of the trade.
I tried to stay as above board as possible, and for my restaurant, it was possible.
Yeah.
Because what started to happen too is typically a restaurant, and mine were tablecloth restaurants, and even my pub was a little bit high end. So what we've seen happen is what were cash businesses are no longer cash businesses because everybody was using credit cards, and part of the reason for that was because you're getting miles and you're getting points. It started with Winston or Marlboro, and you take the little packet, the little barcode off the back of it to collect and win stuff.
Yeah.
But everybody, and it was interesting because in the olden days, you go out with 2 or 3 couples, and I'll pay today, and you put it on your credit card because everybody wanted the miles.
Yeah.
And then you would do it, or in college, you'd use your credit card because that was an ATM at the time. You get your friends to give you cash, and you use your credit card, and you'd get the cash from them because at that point in time, in the mid '70s, there was no miles or points or anything, but that was how you got your cash. And then the next time you went out with your friends, somebody else paid, and you gave them the cash. But then what started happening when couples would go to a fine dining restaurant or even just to a casual restaurant, you'd have 4 couples go out, and then all of a sudden, this is where bang, 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 4 credit cards drop on the table because everybody wanted their own miles.
Yeah.
So, that's where that came down. So that made it a little bit more awkward for the restaurant. And nowadays, seldom does anybody pay cash. And it's getting to the point where restaurants don't accept cash any longer. Certainly concession stands, the amphitheater doesn't take cash. Most arenas don't take cash.
Most venues do not take cash.
Correct.
So.
And that's good from the venue's perspective because it cuts down on petty theft. It cuts down on honest mistakes of poor mathematical skills. So I can understand that point of view. It just makes it tougher for people who don't necessarily have a credit card, and almost everybody does nowadays, or a debit card, because it doesn't have to be a credit or a charge card. It can be a debit card.
Yeah.
So, and I find those dangerous. I don't use a debit card. I use a charge card because when was the last time I balanced my checkbook? Not recently. So that makes it tough.
Well, I mean, you have the online banking, don't you?
I do. That's where I
so
deposit my very
Lucrative.
checks from the 904 now.
Lucrative
Right.
is because you're a private contractor
I am.
with the 904 now, which
Right.
gives you the freedom to say whatever the hell you want.
Thank you very much.
And then I have the freedom as a private contractor myself to say whatever the hell I want back.
Right.
So, but what state is at the minimum? How many states are at the minimum?
I think there's about 23.
23 of 50. Now I'm shocked by that. I thought it would be a lower number.
No, it might have been more. It might have been 26.
Wow. No, I am really shocked by that.
Yeah. No. There was a whole bunch of them.
And they're all mostly red states except for
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, no, there were a whole lot of them that were that. It was well over 20. It might have been 26. And there's some interesting swings and there's some surprises. I mean, Alaska, it's $14.
Of the red states, who's paying the highest?
Of the red states, who's paying the
Is
highest?
Florida.
Florida's 15. Yeah, Florida's going to be 15. Georgia's only 7.25.
Okay.
Idaho's 7.25. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of them other than Florida necessarily.
Of the red states.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Where's
seeing
Texas at in there?
Texas is 7.25.
Okay.
Federal minimum. Tennessee, federal minimum. Utah, Bobby,
Yeah.
federal minimum.
I felt like that would be a different. I felt like it would be higher. 725 is a number
2009.
that doesn't make sense.
Correct.
I agree with that. I think
Correct.
15 might be a little high. I think it should be somewhere around 12, 13. But
Yeah.
like you said, the cost of living state by state should also be a factor in there.
That helps.
So,
I'm impressed with Maine at $15.10.
Tennessee.
Tennessee is 7.25.
Huh, okay.
Vermont is 14.42. They're up there.
All right. And yours feeds into groceries by
Correct.
cities.
Correct.
All right.
And-
And we can hold government deceptions.
Yeah. Okay. We got time. This won't take long, but it's interesting
Okay.
because it's
Because
based
our
on
government deceptions, we can continue because there's enough of them that we can continue.
right.
for
We're not
many,
going to run
many-
out of
yeah,
them. Is what
yeah,
you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's comforting.
Yeah.
It's the cost of groceries as a share of median monthly household income.
Mm-hmm.
So it's directly related to the minimum wages in the state, the payroll and the paychecks in the states, and the most expensive state to buy groceries, or the city. I'm sorry, these are cities, not states. The cities that spends the most on groceries is Detroit, Michigan. And Michigan, the minimum wage in Michigan is $13.75.
Okay.
So it's not horrible there. Plus, there's a lot of people in Michigan. If you're working in the auto plants, you're making a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
But they pay just under 4% of their monthly median household income on groceries. They pay 3.78% on groceries. Now, what's interesting about that is the cost of food in Michigan isn't that much, but it's a state that has a very low median monthly household income. So that's where that problem comes in. They have the 36 most expensive groceries out of 100 cities, but because their prices are pretty average there, but because Detroit has the 10th most expensive lettuce prices, 14th highest sugar prices, 17th highest whole milk prices, but you can get ground beef, tuna, and peaches less expensive than other places in the country. But Detroit residents spend such a high percentage of their income on groceries. It's not the high prices. It's that it has the second lowest median household income in America at just $39,575 a year. So that factors into what people are paying. Florida's got a bunch of states that are up there, a bunch of cities that are up there. Yeah, Hialeah is 6th at 3% of their monthly median income. Jacksonville is 30th at 2.26. Orlando's 35th at 2.20. St. Pete's is 43rd. By comparison, New York City is 47.
Yeah, but I mean, you nailed it. The percentage goes off of what the salaries are.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
if you made New York City, if you made $40,000, which you can live in Jacksonville for $40,000,
Yeah.
you cannot live in New York City for $40,000.
Not yet.
So
We'll see. Hey, it's an
You
experiment.
can't-
It'll work or it won't work. We'll find out.
Yeah.
You got to give the guy a chance to
The
do
other
it.
thousands that have tried it have failed.
I don't
So
know. They've tried
today
it this
might
way.
be the day
Why not?
if we get those forceps. Or
Why not,
squeeze it
man?
a little
Hey,
tight.
look, if the guy pulls it off, he'll be a magician. He's
Mm-hmm.
also, by the way, he also asked the governor for, I don't know, $2 billion to help bail out the city.
Yeah.
Because, well, by that same token, New York City
that's
basically.
not the way it's supposed to work. Is everyone goes into the pot and shares. They don't have to go out and get extra help. That's the way socialism's supposed to work. Everyone goes into the pot.
The pot is that New York City is putting everything into that pot.
Yeah.
So that's what's going. Did
Yeah,
they send him a thank you note? No, I don't think so.
When's the last time they voted someone who was a Republican?
In New York City, it might have been depending. Bloomberg's first term, was he a Republican?
Yeah.
I mean, he had 3 terms. I think it was a
First term
Republican,
was a
independent, and
Republican.
independent. A Republican,
Okay.
Democrat, and independent.
So I
think-
was
I
thinking
think
it was
Giuliani.
Giuliani.
Yeah, that was wild. But you had Bloomberg after him.
Yeah.
But I don't know that Bloomberg ran as a Republican. He might have done that the first time, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And then
How was it doing when Bloomberg and Giuliani was financially? I feel like it was doing better.
well, it came back from Abe Beam when he bankrupted the city. I mean, Abe Beam was mayor when the city just said, "Sorry, we're broke, got to go."
What year was that?
Is that the mid '70s, maybe?
Okay.
Blake, you want to see when Abe Beam was mayor of New York City?
I mean, they gave Ed, what was his name, Ed Koch,
Koch, yeah.
a lot of credit for flipping the
How
city
do you spell the
around.
name?
BEAM, like Jim, except it's Abe.
It's like
Might,
a light,
might be an E on the end.
a
of
light,
it.
light beam.
Abraham Beam.
That's the one.
Abe, yep.
He was mayor. He was mayor of New York from 74 to 77.
Yeah. That's right after the war. Everybody was struggling. Everybody was struggling at that point. That's the Carter years.
And he was a Democrat.
Yeah.
Abe Beam was, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That was the Carter years. Those years I put in the same category as 2007 to 2010.
Yeah.
In that,
And then
in that
everything
world.
built up from there because you had a whole lot of prosperity coming in 1980 for 4 years until we hit the '84 recession.
Mm-hmm.
So everything built back up, and then it tanked again, and then it built back up again, and then it tanked again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we will see. But
All right.
no, there hasn't been a statewide Republican elected in New York State since George Pataki, and that was possibly 2009 when he was governor.
All right. So the prices of your groceries, this is by percentage, correct?
Yes.
So the prices of groceries are probably about the same in Detroit as they are in New York, but this is by percentage of your annual income.
Right.
Blake, can you pull up annual income in major cities? Because I'd like to see what New York City,
We got New York, Chicago, L.A., Boston.
let's do Jacksonville and Detroit
Okay.
because they're there. I'd just like to see what those salaries
Miami,
are because
too.
I would think Detroit salaries are fairly comparable. So I'm wondering.
You would think,
I'm
but
wondering if this is a geographical of getting food to it. I would have thought Honolulu
All right.
would have been higher on the list.
so did I.
Because they're 46th.
right.
I would have thought they would have been in the top 10.
But
All
they
right,
also
so
might
what-
have higher wages because
What you got, Blake?
All right. So which cities would you like me to look up first?
New York City, Chicago, L.A. Let's leave Boston off.
Right.
Jacksonville,
Jacksonville.
Miami, and Detroit.
All right.
busy for a
All right.
couple minutes.
All right. Here we
Yeah.
go. So start off New York.
Okay,
New York median income is $79,713.
79K. Okay, got it.
All right. Los Angeles. Los Angeles is 80,366.
Okay,
Well, what was the next that you want me to look up?
Chicago.
Chicago. 75,134.
Okay,
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. 66,981.
Okay,
Miami.
Miami.
That should be
$59,390.
That's low.
59,000
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a lot of retirees.
in Miami, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of retirees. That's going to throw that one off. And Hialeah is another retiree
Right.
city.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So because that's what I'm saying.
So they're
those
living
numbers,
on Social Security.
yeah,
All right.
exactly. So their base number on the percentage is much lower. All right, Detroit.
We have that here. I think.
Detroit. No, we don't. Detroit, the number I have is 39,575.
That's why that
That's
number.
it.
That's why that number
39,000
is
right.
Yeah,
And that's the same number that they're working on for this survey. So
yeah. So
All right.
that's
yeah.
Let's
yeah.
see.
So the base salary says a lot more about it because I would like to see what the actual gross number is
Right.
in New York compared to Detroit. You know what I mean?
I do.
bet that gross number is fairly close.
Well, what's a quart of milk cost in New York, Honolulu, and Detroit?
Honolulu,
Yeah, Honolulu's going to be very expensive.
85,428.
Oh, that's
their
that
income.
was their number, 85,000. So
Yeah, which is
this
the
is
highest.
that's the highest of all of them,
Well, maybe San Francisco might be higher.
maybe.
San Francisco. Ooh.
Yeah, see, Hialeah and Miami, I instantly went to retirees.
Right.
Jacksonville's some retirees, but not as much. So
Not on the list.
okay,
They don't have that. The closest you can say is San Jose, which is like 141.
Yeah, that's going to be way up there.
141,565.
Detroit's problem starts with this number.
Yeah.
That 39.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. So it was a percentage. It wasn't,
Yep. But what I'm thinking is the gross amount that a family spends on groceries is probably pretty close. Even though
Right.
you're in, and this number is the
that's-
changing factor. of
Well,
the
that's
percentage.
exactly what it is
Yeah.
because, Cleveland, which was number 2, they spend nearly 3.8% on their groceries. The household income in Cleveland is $39,187 a year, yet grocery items, Cleveland has low prices for milk, frying chicken, coffee, and cornflakes are relatively cheap in the city.
Yeah.
So it's not the price of the groceries, it's the price of the groceries compared to how much money people have in their
Yeah.
pocket.
How much
That's
they
what it
actually
is.
have to
right,
spend.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that's where that comes in. But I just thought that was interesting to
No,
see.
it's a good number. I like it.
So,
I like it. Thank you.
sure.
All right.
All right.
And then, Quirk, if you're wondering, the number one city that was listed on here was Fremont, California, at 176,350.
176,000?
Yes.
That's a good number.
Now, and
'Cause they spend less than 1% of their median monthly income on groceries.
Yeah. On food.
and plus the spreadsheet I got this off of was a city's income versus rents spreadsheet, and then in case you're wondering, it looks like the average income minus rent is like around like $7,018 a month. So yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Are you ready for
To be deceived?
Government deceptions.
Give it a shot.
Yes.
All right. I have 4 major government deceptions that we know about. Okay, that have been discovered that we know about.
Okay.
And then I have some modern era recent allegation. Okay? Would you want to start with the modern era one or the 4 that we know about?
Well, why don't we start with we have time. Why don't we start with the 4 that we know, and then we'll come into the modern era.
All right. Number 1, 1971, the Pentagon Papers of Vietnam, of the
Okay.
Vietnam War.
Right?
All right. They leaked documents that exposed that the U.S. government systematically lied to the public and Congress about the feasibility of winning the Vietnam War, hiding that it was a stalemate. So
Yes.
they fully knew where we were at.
Oh yeah, we were losing bad. Yeah.
And we weren't making any progress. We weren't losing progress, but we were just basically stalled.
I think stalemate was polite actually, but yes,
So
that was Daniel Ellsberg. you
yeah,
know?
I don't remember this controversy. I was 4, so I don't really remember this. But I mean, I've read enough about what was going on with Westmoreland and information that people were getting out and that. So, so that's my girl.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I think Ellsberg was. I forget if Ellsberg was a shrink or if he worked for the Pentagon, but he was the guy who found the papers. They broke into somebody's safe, if I'm not mistaken. got them, or he had them in his safe, and then he leaked them to, I think it was the New York Times and the Washington Post, and I think the Washington Post printed them, and then the Times did. I might have that reversed. And then all of a sudden people going, oh, we're losing this war, or we're not, certainly not winning it. And that helped bring an end to the Vietnam War, too. It also made the careers of Woodward and Bernstein.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Carl Bernstein's still kicking around.
Yeah. No. I mean, he was young.
And so was Bob Woodward, as a matter of fact.
I was going to say, they were very young at the time.
Absolutely.
And they
look
really
just like Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the way I always perceived them until I actually saw them.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, So, I mean, that's, yeah.
Yeah, but Bob Woodward's still right out there. And, I don't hear much of Bernstein, I think. But Woodward is, he's still doing stuff and writing books.
Yeah. They're in their 80s?
Possibly.
Okay. Blake, check Bob Woodward's age. So that to me was number one on this list.
So the deception was that they were telling the United States
82.
people.
He's 82. Okay.
They were claiming that the war's going fine. Don't worry about a thing.
Yeah.
We're
doing what we're
nothing. Right.
as we kept sending more of our kids
Right.
over.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and in case you wanted,
Absolutely.
Bernstein's 81.
Bernstein's 81. Yeah, they were both young guys
Yeah.
when this happened. So
50 some odd years ago, more than that.
they were in their 20s. So
Yeah.
all right. So that was, Westmoreland was asking for more, and they're like,
Yeah.
"No, we're doing good." They weren't really listening to him, and so
Or William Westmoreland.
yeah, he never had a chance.
No. He was outgunned. And you know what? And they just had manpower. And then, then the Chinese kept sneaking in stuff to the Vietnamese. So that didn't hurt either for the Vietnamese. But,
Yeah.
they just fought a completely their style of warfare at the time was sort of how the Americans won
Revolutionary
the
War.
revolution by being, what we call guerrilla warfare now was what they did. Shoot and run, where the British would just stand there and,
In formation.
and get shot at. Or marching, you weren't sneaking up on anybody when you were marching with drums and flags and stuff.
You weren't really valuable. You were a statistic.
Right.
So yeah.
So, all right, what's number two?
Number two is very similar. Is the Afghanistan papers. I don't know if you remember this article.
No, I don't know that I do.
In 2019, the Washington Post investigation revealed that senior U.S. officers made rosy pronouncements about the war in Afghanistan that they knew to be false, concealing evidence that the 18-year campaign was unwinnable.
Did they learn anything from the Russian experience?
Oh,
I mean, that's the reality of it. As the Russians went in there, they had superior firepower. They had, at that point in time, they had a lot more people, seeing as they haven't had them all knocked off in, the Ukraine. And they were there for 10 years at least, and they said, all right, we're done.
I took so much crap probably in 2015 because I was over the war. I was well over the war at that point, and I got so much crap. I was like, pull our guys out. When they poke their heads out, bomb the shit out of them.
Right.
And they're like, oh, you can't just carpet bomb.
It wasn't winnable.
You just keep them contained and trap them in their own swill, and that's how you win the war, is by just controlling them in that manner. Like, keep them completely contained within their own sections of the world.
Yeah, the only problem with that is there are non-combatants and there are women and children and people who aren't involved in the government, and they suffer by the fact that their government is doing things that, whether they do or don't agree with, they're non-combatants, and, the collateral damage is horrific.
Yeah, I understand that. I get it.
So,
But, sending our guys over into an unwinnable war
right.
makes no sense to me.
Especially when you had the the knowledge of what happened to the Russians.
Yeah.
That's part of it too. But the other thing that bothers me even more about what happened over in Afghanistan is the pallets and pallets and pallets of cash that we gave to warlords to be on our side. That they said, absolutely, I will take this $700 million and we'll be your friend.
You can trust us.
Bye.
Yeah.
As the knife goes right in your back.
Yeah,
That was ridiculous. What a waste of money that was.
What they got to realize, they look at us as non-human. They look at the United States as infidels, and we're not on the same level. So it's just like, the ships that were in Africa.
Right.
Hey, free cruise. That's basically what they were saying. So because the people that were loading up those ships looked at the other human beings they were putting on those ships as not equal to them.
Right.
And that's the way.
Right. And that was
the
black
way
on
those
black.
warlords.
Exactly.
The way those warlords operated. Right. They're like, we can lie to them. They're not like us.
And to try to get into a war that you think is winnable in a culture situation when the entire Taliban and for eons the history there was women didn't matter, children didn't matter. You could marry somebody at 13 and they were chosen for you. I'm probably being polite at 13. Mm-hmm. The educational component that women shouldn't be educated in any way, shape, or form. The fact that it was overarching religious education, if there was education, that's something that we just don't understand. And hopefully we're not getting to that point in this country, please. Thank you.
We'll see how the experiment goes in New York.
Well, it's not going to be indoctrinating education. That only happens in Florida.
Oh, you think that's only happens in Florida?
Well, it's happening. The pendulum has swung completely different in Florida.
You got dropped on your head. I swear you got. It wasn't the forceps.
I bounced. I'm telling you. You got no problem.
It wasn't the forceps.
My brains don't rattle.
Yeah.
They're a little dusty, but they don't rattle.
It's just ironic how the left breeds the left and the right breeds the right.
Sure.
So,
but I think it's look. This is the same concept with the absolute bullshit of weaponizing the lawfare or the Justice Department. You got to stop with that shit because every time Trump says they weaponize, what the fuck are you doing, Donald? Come on, look in a mirror and be honest about it. You're doing what they did. You're using the Department of Justice to persecute and prosecute your enemies, not to do crime fighting or anything. And you know what?
Well, he might be a little bitter.
Well, no, I just think it's ridiculous. And it's not that the Democratic administrations didn't do it. They just didn't do it with the glee in their choice.
They had a lot of glee.
Well, every now and again.
They had a lot of glee. You're being naive if you think.
No, give me an example.
You don't think they enjoyed both impeachments of Trump?
Oh, absolutely.
They enjoyed. There was a lot of glee.
Right. Well, but it was also a waste of time and money because you got to count noses. You didn't have the votes to do it. You didn't have the votes. So why bother? Why bother?
Why spin wheels?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'm waiting for the third one. Don't be silly.
They put their hatred for the man ahead of their benefit for the country. And that happened when the Republicans went after Clinton.
Yep.
And it happened when the Democrats went after Trump.
Well,
and,
in all fairness, Clinton got his dick caught in something, and that was a whole different thing. Trump is just... robbing us blind.
But both of them, what I'm saying is both of them were a waste of time.
Right, absolutely. No doubt about it. There weren't vote. Right,
there was two
for Trump.
There was two for Trump.
The votes weren't there. It made no sense.
They knew they didn't have the votes. Right. And they still wasted millions of our money.
But, talk about indoctrination in education, and Governor White Boots is running around going, there will be no indoctrination unless I do the indoctrinating, because all of a sudden, you had a brilliant college. New College was perceptively the most liberal college in Florida and one of the better academic colleges in the country. And all of a sudden, it has done a complete 360 because Ron DeSantis didn't like people learning about gender identity or gender norms or learning about, God forbid, black people.
I don't think I've ever asked you this question. How many genders are there?
2.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to hear where you were at with that. So.
But it doesn't mean people can't make a personal choice on what they want to have their gender be.
Yeah, but that don't mean he can go in the bathroom with my 6-year-old girl.
No, but
but that's what they're asking
close
for.
Close the stall door.
No, my 6-year-old's in that bathroom.
Right.
I'm with her. She goes in the bathroom. A dude goes in there with him.
A dude goes in there with him.
No, I'm about to put my fist in his face.
Yeah, but you're in there.
I'll hit him right in his dress.
Now, is that the men's room or the ladies' room you took her into?
I let her. I'll stand outside of the ladies' room, and she goes in.
Fine, okay.
And I'll be like, "Nope, you're not going in." If it's never happened.
Right. And again, how many times has this happened? That this is the biggest issue in America
would you be
today?
okay with that?
I don't know.
Because the Democrats are fighting for that right, which is a ridiculous
It's
fight.
again more waste of time.
It's a ridiculous fight, and that's my point. Is the lies that they tell amongst themselves to gain political gain hurts our country.
Like Hillary Clinton is a pedophile working out of a basement in a pizzeria.
Well, and the Donald Trump was sleeping and peeing on Russian women. That dossier, which was created by Hillary Clinton.
We haven't seen the film yet.
There is no film because
I don't want to see
they
that.
said it was completely false.
Who said it was completely false? I no,
Blake,
I'm not. I'm just
Blake,
curious.
now you're a Democrat.
No, I'm just
You know
asking.
what
I'm
I'm
not
talking
arguing
about?
with you. I'm just wondering who said it was completely false. Somebody fessed up. Everyone.
No, it's been proven.
Okay.
That dossier was not
the
was
Steele
false.
dossier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was false.
It worked for a while.
It worked for you.
Didn't work well enough.
Because she was going to break that glass ceiling that came crumbling down on her.
Right on her head. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That didn't work out so well either.
Because she got caught in her lies.
Right.
So, all right.
All right,
So
keep going.
next one is this is the president that I had the most trouble with, and it was George W.
Okay.
Iraq war intelligence. The 2003 invasion of Iraq was largely predicated on false claims that the company possessed weapons of mass destruction and had ties to the September 11th attack. This lie, I think, started with W. W was mad that they tried to kill his dad,
Right.
10 years, 15 years early. I can understand that, but you can't lie to the country about it. It came out that his intelligence said we don't have enough evidence, and he claimed it was in his speech. It was absolutely true. So,
Right.
and I
was
had huge trouble with
Right.
W because of the way he handled stem cell research.
Right.
He knocked us 15 years back on stem cell research because of he made it. The other lie that was told during his time is to do stem cell research, you have to have clean embryos. They're not yanking embryos out of children. They're scientifically created embryos. That's the only way you can do research. It has to be clean. But the way they made it sound is they were yanking these embryos out of teenage girls and doing studies on them.
Right.
I don't know if you remember that whole BS that was really, and it really, really ticked me off.
Yeah.
Because they hid that they told certain informations about it and how stem cells actually work. So, and now stem cells is catching up. Our stem cell research,
right? Exactly.
Our stem cell research is now catching up 15 years later, because when Obama got in, he did flip-flop the stem cell research portion of it.
Right, and it was the Reagan administration that actually sort of opened it up, or Nancy Reagan, because she was trying to save Ronnie. Mm-hmm. So,
yep. All right, so that one is listed as number 3. All right, this one I think all of us remember pretty well. NSA surveillance. So in 2013, intelligence officers, including director of the and National Intelligence, Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper.
DNI, right?
Yeah. Falsely told Congress that the NSA was not collecting data on millions of Americans.
Yeah.
You remember his name?
James Clapper?
No. The person who
was
exposed
that the guy living in the Ecuadorian embassy in India? Is that WikiLeaks?
Yeah. It was Snowden.
Snowden. Yeah.
Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
So this was the Edward Snowden one. All right, here I got one more older one that I wanted to bring up. So I just didn't want it to make this because these were all in like the last 30 years.
Right.
So I wanted to bring this one up. And I know you know a little bit about it. Blake, and I'm not sure do you know about the Tuskegee research, Blake?
The syphilis shit, yeah.
I heard about that before, but I don't think my history professors ever taught that to me.
All right. So from 1932 until 1972, United States Public Health Service and the Centers for Disease Control had a group of 400 African American men with syphilis, as well as a control group without. The purpose of the study was to observe the effects of the disease when untreated, knowingly they had it, and some say they actually gave it to them.
I think a lot of them got it
to the point
them, right?
of death. I mean, they actually let some of these guys die.
Yeah.
they purposely let them die. Although there have been effective to reduce the severity of the disease since the 1920s, the use of penicillin.
I think someone's here.
Oh my goodness! Look who we got in the studio. So, and there's maybe. So, but this study was
God awful.
it's one of the most atrocities that I can think of, and it was funded by the government.
Yeah, it's just inhumane.
So,
Well,
all right.
a question for you. Are we playing those games again with, the Maha in chief, Bobby Bear eating Kennedy, saying, vaccines, don't bother.
You know what? I have, believe it or not, I have very little confidence in the government. I have even less confidence in pharmaceutical companies.
Okay.
I believe there are pharmaceutical researchers out there that can save people, but these companies have put so much into the billions and billions of dollars of the free drugs back.
Sure. Yeah.
They're trying to recover that money before they release the ones that actually save people.
Well, they've got to get you sick. They got to get you sick before they get you healthy.
And I think vaccines are the way that the government's made a deal with the pharmaceuticals company of, okay, well, you got this and you put that money in, but here's how we're going to pay you back. And we're adding those vaccines. Because if you look at the number of vaccines that you had in the 1970s that were required and what's happening today, it's absolutely crazy. There were less than 10, I think, in 1970, and in 2000, there's like 36. And they're all welded and intertwined. They're all intertwined together.
Individual shots.
And here's what I've learned about the vaccines. They test the individual vaccine, but then they put 5 of them in one.
They make a cocktail.
All right, but they don't test them the 5. They test each one individually.
They work on their own, but how do they work in concert?
So, yeah. So what can't you mix? You can't mix bleach and ammonia.
Yeah, get chlorine gas.
All right.
Pretty purple, kill you right there.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. These 5, ammonia is great by itself.
Yeah.
Bleach is great by itself.
Sure.
You put them together.
Not good.
That's what I'm saying. That the way they do the testing to get everything approved. That's where I have heartburn.
Well, so it seems that we may be getting too smart for our own good because vaccines work. You've got years and decades worth of.
I'm not an anti-vaccine.
No,
person.
I understand that, and I'm agreeing with you that vaccines work. The problem is we may be over-vaxxing because they're mixing them together, or we're doing them, not on a proper schedule or spread out enough. We don't work enough on herd immunity, but you got to be a little risky with that. But look at measles; it's flaring back, and now the latest.
It's not flaring.
It's catching up there. Now there's conversation about people who need to get measles vaccines, whether you did or you didn't.
How many measles cases have we had in Florida? 30,
maybe,
and that's a flare.
Well,
we have 25 million people.
Okay, let's just watch the numbers as they go.
And did you have measles when you were a kid?
I had mumps and I had chicken pox. I don't remember having measles.
I had chicken pox. And measles. I never got the mumps.
Okay, I had mumps on my birthday.
Yeah.
Only Fran Agavino came to my birthday
Yeah.
party. That was my sister's best friend. Only person who came across the street to come to the birthday party.
But here's my question, and I'm sorry for the kids that got measles and they're uncomfortable and they're where they're at, and but we have 25 million people, so let's say 3 million of those are kids right now.
Okay.
I think it's a low number.
Okay. Probably more
right.
gone.
The cost of that and the value of that. So we got 3 million times whatever the pharmaceutical company's getting for that. So do you think it's more propaganda or actual fear? Because I think a lot of the times the propaganda is bigger than what the real fear should be. So, I mean, I said, and I would tell people to vaccinate, but spread them out. And that's
Sure.
when I did my walk to DC, because that was a big hot topic in 2012. Like you were either on one side or the other. But that was the way I handled the vaccination.
Yeah, it's a little trust but
Because I can tell
verify.
you right now, I would if the boys were a little further apart, I probably would have handled the vaccines different.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Trust but verify.
Yep.
But, now, according to the World Health Organization, which I don't believe that we're a member of any longer, thank you, Mr. President, in your infinite wisdom.
We were probably overpaying.
Yeah.
We were probably paying the. We were
might have
probably
been the only one paying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're
But-
probably overpaying.
Right.
Oh, we'll let the U.S. pay for that.
Right. Well, we are no longer able to claim to be a measles-free nation any longer. So that's an interesting change. So
All right. And Barbara Jean, I'm with you. I didn't get the mumps either. So, all right. Shout outs, Blake. You got any shout outs for us, buddy?
Yeah, if you want to help support the Now for Now, you can always contact me at BlakeNowForNow@gmail.com.
All right. And you did a show with Karen this week?
yeah,
And
yesterday.
And a show with Rick this week, or was that last week?
There's actually gonna be a show next Monday. So even though it's President's Day, we're gonna be off for Stordom and Bollocks that day. There's still gonna be a Sunday reflection for Rick on Monday.
Okay. All right.
All right, yeah. We got a 4-day weekend for Bollocks.
Well, for you,
I said for Bollocks.
For Bollocks.
Right.
That statement was true for Bollocks.
Yeah.
okay.
For Bollocks.
Yeah.
So, any shout outs from your side, sir?
Happy Valentine's Day to each and every one, and I will
Yes.
be celebrating Valentine's Day when my beloved wife comes back from her uncle's funeral in 17-degree real feel, New York.
Whew.
She is not happy about that.
Yeah.
It's a
So,
siblings trip. She and her sister and her brother went up to Aunt Doris's. Her husband Ronnie passed away, and what a shame.
yeah.
He was a tough guy. Love the pastrami from the Lido Kosher Deli. I'll tell you that.
Is that naval pastrami?
That was it's brisket, and it's just fabulous.
Okay.
He does it in the house. Oh my goodness! I think I've shown you pictures of those sandwiches. Oh, that is some good stuff. And I'll bring some back when I come back in March.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys. If you would get out there and support our sponsors, they're incredible, incredible people, and just make sure you show them the love that they deserve.
Absolutely.
So this is when we wave and smile, Lenny.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.